beautiful, cold Sunday afternoon.
Okay, so before you inspire us and just tell us the lessons that motherhood has taught you, um, what are some of the lessons that the amazing women or mama that made you be the mommy that you are? What are the lessons that they taught you?
Sure. Um, the amazing people that raised me. There are a couple of women that were very impactful in my life, starting with my mother, and what I learned from my mother, what I still carry from my mother is confidence. She was a completely confident woman, and that is the one thing that I just picked up from her from a very early age. She did not look to external sources for validation or for description. She was just complete and she was extremely confident. Another woman that was very important in my life was my aunt, one of the ladies that raised me. And what I picked up from her was love. The love that enabled me to be myself without being apologetic. With
Uh-huh.
her, I did not have to front, I did not have to justify anything. She just accepted
That's
me
what's
for
up.
me.
That's what's up.
So I learned that at a very early age, and it really had an impact and in my life. And I had a lot of other women that I looked to. My sister, my older sister, I only have one sister, and from her I learned to go all out, to be thorough. In our African families, often the parents are more hands on with the firstborn child, and then you'll find the firstborn child or taking care of their younger siblings. I had that kind of setting as well, where when it came to certain things, my mom wasn't even involved, but it was my sister, who led the way when it came to that. She was like a very practical somebody and a very thorough somebody. Whatever she does, she goes all out. And I will not forget the teachers in my life, most of whom were women. In the education system, as simple as it was, as deprived as it was, I had wonderful teachers. And what I learned from those teachers is not to focus on the limitations. Like I'm saying, the education system was not the greatest, but I never knew at that time that I was limited. Why? Because of the way in which they presented the education to me. So yeah, those are the people that I looked up to. And there's a couple of colleagues that I met, when I went to varsity. Your professor colleague Amlisana, she's very big in the COVID space at this point. She's one of the people that I encounter. I met, at a later stage in my
At
life,
medical school,
and
yes.
at medical school, and she was hugely impactful. We're not very close at that time, but I looked at her from a distance, and I drew from from her well. I looked up to her so much that actually I asked her to speak at my wedding many years ago. Another woman who really touched my life was my mother-in-law. What I
Yes.
picked up from my mother-in-law, I remember when I
Oh,
came.
yeah.
Yes, we called her Iya. My mother-in-law, what I picked up from my mother-in-law was faith. Non, that woman was so full of faith, and most importantly, she was impactful. I remember the day that we buried her. When we buried her, I looked around her life, and the people who came to the funeral, and I was so touched and I was so moved by the fact that Iya had no advantages. None. She had no
Yeah.
academic advantage. She had no political advantage. She had no financial. She was the simplest woman you'd ever find. But she never failed to touch each and every person who
Oh,
came
and she has
her
so much
way.
warmth.
You know,
Yes.
so, and that for me was like, Lord, my goodness, and we tend to think that I need one, two, three in order for me to accomplish certain things, in order for me to be impactful. And here was this woman, like I'm saying, literally, she hardly had any advantages, and yet all of us were hugely impacted and touched by her. So, yeah, and as a woman, and as I continue to grow, that becomes, my wish as well, that wherever I am, I just want to be an overflowing well.
And that you certainly are. So, Dr. N, the few words that you have for the Shiros here at 702 Land this afternoon.
My encouragement to the mothers this afternoon, Non, is that, you know what, happy Mother's Day. You know what? I am so proud of you. I may not know who you are. I may not know what you have been. The one thing that I know for sure is that you are here. The fact that we are here means that we have done well. So the fact that you are here, irrespective of what is at hand, irrespective of what you are going through, you are here, and that says that you have done well. As a mother, you have been appointed and you have been entrusted. I know sometimes motherhood somehow happens automatically because all you need to do is to conceive and carry a child. But you know what? Nothing in this world happens by mistake. So you have been appointed for this, and most importantly, you have been entrusted to do this. You know what, Non? As mothers, one of the things, the interesting thing that I realize as I reflect on my journey as a mother is that as mothers, we tend to find it very easy to define ourselves as mothers. A lot of people who are mothers, when you ask them, so who are you? That's the first thing that they will start by saying. Before they mention their careers and everything, they will say, I am a mother. But quite interestingly, on the very same breath, we tend to do us as we are mothers. But motherhood is not about us. Motherhood is about you. So my wish to you and my inspiration to you today is that, you know what, may you start by being a complete woman. May you start by being a complete woman so that you become a competent mother. Doing yourself as an incomplete woman is not going to make you a competent mother. So may you be fed and filled in all areas of completion so that you become your mother. I know that motherhood is not always exciting. I say that to my children, and it doesn't mean that I don't love them, but motherhood is hard, and motherhood can be exhausted, and motherhood cannot always be exciting. But you know what? As a mother, that is what motherhood is about. It is about the children that you are mothering, and like you have mentioned, whether it is your biological children, whether it is your nephews and nieces, anyone who calls you mom, anyone who calls you aunt, that motherhood is about them. And may you be given the capacity and the patience to focus on them. I know that children can be hectic, sometimes, especially this happens to me towards the end of the year when I'm all exhausted. I'm like, you know what? I don't want to be called mommy anymore. The moment somebody says mommy, you know that something is wrong. You know that something is disorganized.
But what happened?
But you know what? May we be given, the strength to focus on them through and through. May we be given the strength to have a vision for our children. It's not just about eating meals. It's not just about homework. But may we be drawn close. May we be present, and may we be intentional. The one thing that I learned today as I am reflecting on my life as a mother is the fact that a mother has a lot of power. Our problem is that we do not use our power timeously. And when we don't use our power timeously, by the time we want to use our power, it is too late. So be in touch with your power as a mother and make use of that power early enough, because the earlier you use your powers as a mother, the longer those powers will last. What am I talking about? I'm talking about us being passive when we take care of our children at an earlier stage. And then we expect to be active and intentional and start communicating and talking at a later stage once they start being rebellious. There are things that we do not do as mothers because a child is being rebellious or because a child is to be directed, but they are part of what we plant while we teach our child to become. So use your powers as a mother early enough. The earlier you use those powers, the longer they will last. That is the lesson that I have learned. So let us focus on our children. Let's have a vision for our children. Let's be intentional about certain things. I know that, children, the moment you say do 1, 2, 3, the first thing that they will do is is to resist and to rebel and to show you that they are not interested. But you know what? At the end of the day, you are the bigger guy. You are the bigger person. I do not care how stubborn your child can be. I've been through the temper tantrums as well. I've been through the raw part. You know what? What I know for sure is that based on the fact that I'm a mother, I am the bigger person. That is what you have been appointed to do. You have been appointed to be the bigger person. So may we be, just capacitated with the persistence to keep going on and on and on and on, because this motherhood journey is a lifetime thing. Another thing that I would like to highlight is that, you know what, may we be in touch with the heritage that we are for our children. May we be the fountain of life, because what tends to do is we raise our children and our children go out of our control to look for references that are going to create their heritage. You know what? The fact that you are his mother, the fact that you are her mother, you are a strong enough heritage. Appreciate yourself as the heritage of your child, and your child is going to appreciate you as their heritage. Most importantly, let us pray for our children. What does praying for our children do? It enables us to surrender our children to their source. In as much as they are ours, they do not come from us. There is somewhere from which they come. And it is very important, therefore, for us to surrender our children to their source on a daily basis. Like I said, I know motherhood is exhausting, and it is not always likable, but you know what? It is a high calling. It is joyous, it is fulfilling, and it is meaningful. So let us just not leave things to chance. Let's not leave things to chance. Let us instead be present, and let us be in charge. And as
so much.
And as a parting shot, please, mothers, let's be happy, let's find meaning, let's find fulfillment, and let's find joy in this motherhood that we have been entrusted with. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Dr. M. Your social media handles for, these amazing, inspiring words that you continue to share. I love the fact that you were singing. This morning I saw on your Facebook stories that you were singing along to a song by Abdulaziz Zimu. Social media handles, please.
I'm on Instagram at Dr. Nelisiwe, Facebook, Nelisiwe CBC Zimo. Thank you.
You are a superwoman. Thank you so much.
Happy Mother's Day.
Happy Mother's Day. And this is our first song, Because You Are a Superwoman. Alicia Keys. Everywhere I'm turning.